لأمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum and a very warm and blessed Jumu'ah. I bid to everyone on the Zoom as well as from the Istac YouTube channel. Inshallah, we are broadcasting live from wherever we are. Before I begin, I think to add more blessings to our meeting today, let us humbly invoke the Almighty with the recitation of Kitab al-Fatiha. Okay, Dr. Haniza is already with us. Alhamdulillah. I'm truly honored to be here today, virtually gathered with all of you for this virtual Istac-Iium talk series on spiritual, intellectual, and mental well-being enhancement 2023. And today marks our 9th session since it was first organized, which on this session itself, we will be discussing on a topic of immense importance, women and mental health. My name is Nahid Azhari, a PhD candidate in Istac-Iium, and inshallah, I will be moderating the session throughout. It is a privilege to be in the company of esteemed individuals, especially like Associate Professor Dr. Haniza Rais and all of you. And some of us are even advocates, together and to shed light on this fundamental subject. I also want to extend my gratitude to our distinguished guest, Dr. Haniza, from KULIYYAH of Education IIUM, for gracing us with her presence and expertise, inshallah. Assalamualaikum, Prof. How are you?
Waalaikumsalam, Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih, Nahid.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so let's just begin. I will do some introduction on the topic as well as of our speaker, and then we will continue on to the content itself. In our society today, the discussion surrounding mental health here, Dr. Haniza, has reached new heights, and rightfully so, Alhamdulillah. It's a topic that has long been stigmatized. Kita tahu ada stigma sekitar ni. Can I speak dual language? I believe I can. Inshallah. Sebab dia semi-formal je. Okay. It's a topic that has long been stigmatized. Saya tahu when we speak about mental health, we have stigma surrounding it. Women in particular have faced unique challenges and vulnerabilities when it comes to mental well-being. So with us today, Associate Professor Dr. Haniza, our esteemed speaker. Let me introduce her to all of you. Dr. Haniza Rais is a counselor and a teacher educator at Department of Education, Psychology and Counseling, KULIYYAH of Education IIUM, also a registered counselor with KKM and a mental health advocate, as well as volunteer affiliated with several NGOs and government agency. She is currently our Deputy Dean, Student Development and Community Engagement in KULIYYAH of Education IIUM. Dr. Haniza Rais is a leading expert in the field of counseling education. She has dedicated her career to understanding and improving the psychological well-being of individuals, especially in the aspects of grief and loss, Dr. Haniza? Her extensive knowledge and commitment to this cause and more, I believe, make her the perfect person to guide us through today's discussion. So we will have like an hour or so, a session with Dr. Haniza Rais. We will take questions throughout the session, Dr. Haniza? Macam tu, inshallah, we agreed to have the questions. If you have any questions, please raise hands or perhaps share your questions in the chat box and we will address it as we go along. Okay, so without further ado, I invite our distinguished speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Haniza Rais, to share her valuable insights and expertise. Please welcome.
Thank you, Nahid. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera to everyone, virtually, anywhere, I believe this is also live streaming. So, inshallah, the topic today, I don't see myself an expert in this topic, but I see myself first as a woman. I'm very much in the context of talking about this. This is not actually the first time I talk about women and mental health. I was asked to talk about this during the crisis COVID-19. And that was when I was asked to just talk about women and mental health. And starting from there, I just realized that, it's nothing to do with gender bias. It's just about us being women, in relation to the society, in relation to our family, ourselves at work, and just us wherever we are. So I think the part that I think it is very crucial, very essential that we talk about this afternoon. It's not just for women. I hope we have more than just women in this audience.
Please, yes, please.
And I want to make
I
this
see names like Brother Sidi over there.
I want to make this a very santai and casual thing. I would love to answer questions. I may have slides, and you believe me, the slide will never be enough. So, but I will just browse through and get some a few things. But feel free to stop me if you have any questions, because this is an opportunity for us to actually have discussions among women, with our own concern, because our perspectives are always different. We are different individuals. Although we are all women, we have different issues. We face different challenges in life. We have different people with us at work, at home, everywhere. So of course, definitely our experiences will be different. So it's not fair for me to just tell things to do, or there's no one way of doing things actually when we deal with when we talk about our mental health. So I'm gonna share my slide, Nahid, if my slide.
Yeah, can you do it, or yeah?
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. Can you see
Okay.
it now? All
Yeah.
right. So um yeah, when we talk about women mental health, I know it's a broad topic, but I want to focus more on self-care and self-compassion. I don't want to talk about self-love, because that's of course we love ourselves, and I don't want us to be very it sounds very narcissistic to say that about self-love, because we want to love ourselves, but we want to make sure that when we love ourselves more, in order for us to share our love with others. So that is important, because sometimes as women, we love people so much, we tend to give everything to our children, our family, and everything to our work, and we forgot about ourselves. And that self-compassion is important, because we have to, I believe that in order to share our love with others, we have to first love ourselves. So self-care is really a good thing to start with, because you can do whatever you want in life or at work, but you still have to come back to yourself. It's very Islamic thing to self-reflect on ourselves and do self-care. And that is the only way that we can actually coming back better person. We'll be a better caregiver, we are better friend, better husband, a wife, better daughters, and better teacher, whatever your roles are, when we take care of ourselves. That's the basic baseline, okay? So let me go to the next slide. Okay, I have disclaimer, because this is a topic of mental health. Always people, you talk about stigma just now. We are not into mental disorder topic. Is
Right,
just
right.
basically to
We're not go there. Yeah.
yeah, we're not going there. And
Yeah.
if anything that I say in here somehow affect you or in any ways, please make sure that you take care of yourself and get help from someone close to you. Or better still, if you think that it's troubling, it's too troubling or it's too disturbing to you, please get help professional. And we are all here talking about similar things, that we have you probably share similar concerns. The risk is, when as you hear, you can recall your own personal experience, and that can hurt, and you probably will experience some kind of intense feeling as you recall your own painful moments. So I hope you're all aware of that, and you are taking the risk to be with me, although I'm going to talk about something very mild, but
This is a bit frightening.
I have to
But
caution.
yeah, I understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know who's the
But it's true.
yeah, we don't know the audience out there. So I want you to be
True.
responsible for yourself as well. Okay. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The basic question. I always ask my one question, important question. What does it mean to be a mentally healthy woman? apa maknanya? What does it mean? So
Mm.
if anyone watching on the YouTube, if you can share and then you can actually let me know, that would be nice, because we always want, we this is a very important part, who very often it is dictated to us. Okay, we are told that this is the picture of gambaran seorang yang mentally healthy person. Okay,
Mm.
and that can also be the danger of this is because it's prescribed to us, and we have to fulfill this prescription. Siapa yang prescribe? Prescribed by the society, by people out there, by our culture. Okay, I don't see religion is is restricting us on this. It's almost always is the society, the people around us, who make life, who make it difficult for us to who have this set of idea what kind of women, we have in a society with very traditional views of women. Unfortunately, they don't realize that after in the last 40, 50 years, we have more women at workforce than ever. So, but the traditional view is still the same. Mom go home.
And
Yeah. Yeah,
and
Nahi.
the load on women is like added, with the need to go to work, and to also be a woman and a student, perhaps. Yeah,
Oh, we also have 24 hours a day, right? 7 days a week.
true.
Um, and we spend most of the time, if you're working, we are not all of us are lucky enough to stay home, to be a full-time housewife. But most of us today in a family, in most families, is dual income family. So you will see women at work for 8 hours, coming back, and they still have to be
Samantha.
take care of the house and the
Yeah.
children, all that. Okay, if we are lucky, we get our domestic assistance to help us, but not everyone is as lucky. So that add on to the roles and responsibilities, and many people manage, but some people really need the task to be delegated or get assistance from people. Okay, so this is still a question. I want to leave this question on. Okay, what does it mean to be a
Yeah,
man?
anyone to answer?
Yeah, so if anyone want to answer, well, just let me know. Okay, but
Yeah.
mental health me is actually, it's not destination. You say I want to it's not like you want to achieve mental health, but it should be a process. So and along the way, the process will have, a little bit here and there challenges, and we go through it and we iron things out, or we just manage whatever comes with it, in order for us to uh go to get that mental health, I mean, to be in a mental healthy state. Okay,
Mhm.
so
Sejahtera lah kesihatan mental tu.
yeah, so we heard about this
Yeah.
kesejahteraan diri. So this is our universities, memang we talk about sejahtera all the time. So it's really about us being sejahtera. Again, if you're sejahtera with your own self, put you anywhere, you're okay. Okay, and there will be crisis and turbulence in life, and you can always maintain yourself because you have the skills to manage the situation that you are not prepared for. So it's not a matter of how good you manage, but how ready you are and how you want to take up. Something unexpected happen. So what do you do about it? So it's your readiness and your preparedness. Of course, we don't have at all the skills in the world, but the part that you are ready to deal with it and urus ataupun manage the situation is what need to be done. It doesn't have to be women, men or women, children, or anybody who's
Alike.
facing any kind of crisis. Definitely you'll be affected. Definitely you will have reaction that, when you are facing something unpleasant. So we have to normalize that. We have to be able to accept that, yeah, I'm in this situation. Therefore, the situation is not like everyday situation, and I have to act differently. And I don't know whether I am acting correctly, but I'm doing myself so that at least I do something about it. So that itself is a good start when we are facing we want to it's part of self-care juga. Sebab kita we want to make sure that we react to situation. Just statistic, I just throw here and there a bit statistics about 50 I don't ask me where I quote this, okay, but 51% of women surveyed said they were worried about their mental health. Because I think if you ask this question to our grandmother, they won't answer this. But because of our nation, our people in our society, we have so many much more people who are much more educated than ever, so they have the awareness of the importance of mental health. So therefore 51% realize that they're worried about their mental health. So that's a good thing because they have that awareness to start with. And more than 1 in 4 women aged 16 to 24 have all kinds of mental health issues. And these are just in a few. But again, we have not, I'm not, there are people who talk about it. This is the recorded statistics, but we have people who have not get sick anyhow. So, but anyway, that's quite a scary number. Okay.
Yeah.
This one is yeah. Women are 80% of 50 million people affected by violent conflict, civil wars, disaster. And this is also, I think, with what happened in Palestine, for example. And we know that before, we know that nobody can touch babies and women, but now it looks like we are on the
Yeah, it has been breached.
Yeah.
And no one says nothing. I mean, the one
So
who's responsible are silent, and that's a yeah, a drawback.
more than half of women with mental health problem have experienced violence and abuse, and we have a lot of silent sufferers out there who never make any reports and who actually mentally abuse, and not physically, mentally, and they live with that for a long time. And that's also can become quite a traumatic experience for some women. And we also find out that on average, I know you cannot read this because it's too small, but more women are now when they have issues, they choose to cope with self-injury. So they injure themselves for many reasons. So when we have the word non-suicidal self-injury, it's not that they want to die, it's just the way they want to cope with things because things get out of control. They believe that that's the only way to relieve the pain. And these people
They want to hurt themselves to feel alive sometimes. There are
so
cases like this.
So we could see women need to have that extra skills, especially when it comes to emotional dysregulation. So these are the things that we have to work on.
Mm.
And many of these situations, sometimes they have started to use this coping because it helped them to cope. But some of them we get addicted to this because it seems that it relieves the pain, and that's the only thing they can do. And many actually said that the pain is not visible, but by doing that they can actually see and it's visible, and they feel you know they they can feel satisfaction by doing that because whatever pain, they can translate that and it can be seen physically. So this is really worrying because the younger kids also use so
It's a trend now on TikTok.
So
Yeah.
we have all kinds of people who hurt themselves, but I think the one that need for growing up, I mean children, the girls, we have as young as 10-year-old who hurt themselves because they don't know what to do about it. So and we don't want to stigma this because these people, it's not that they are, I mean they don't have good parents, or it's not that they don't have good education or good religion. It's because they don't have the alternative to cope. So sometimes we, the society, have to be more supportive in terms of helping them to look for other ways to cope better, more effectively. So some people, we know, when the younger, the women, sometimes they feel that they are helpless and hopeless. They're not able to do anything about what happened to them. So they decided to self-harm them and punish themselves for something that they don't do. So all these things are actually misconception about self-harm. So we really have to educate the women that hurting yourself, coping with negative strategies ataupun negative coping is not tolerable, is not acceptable, because there's so many other ways to cope with things, and we have to be able to discuss better ways to cope with our feelings when we are hurt, or when we are in pain, or when life is not on our side. Okay. All right. Any question?
For now, belum ada apa-apa soalan. I'm not sure if there are in the Yahoo, sorry, YouTube.
I think basic things about women and mental health, we need to understand. Understanding women is important. So whether you are yourself women, sometimes we ask women pun, dia kata, oh, I don't know. Do you know who you are? You know the uniqueness being a woman. Sometimes we also struggle to answer that, because we thought that, oh, I just have to do things what I have to do. I do what I have to do. So, but we have to understand the nature of women actually. Okay. Kalau ikut history dulu, dia kata women are unfinished men. According to
Oh,
so I just look up
that's
what
the first, yeah.
so apa ni, and then we have furthermore, talk about women have the same rights as men according to Plato, because we live in a society, and he said that women are colder than men because therefore less perfect. I think ni macam maybe now we are not, we have changed code kan. But I'm not gonna go into this perspective, but I know these are all something we all already knew. Okay. And in Islam, for example, there's no difference between men and women when it comes to their relationship with Allah. So everything that you do, you'll be accountable for, small or big or small, right? So we have same women's right over men, similar to those men over women, and also the emphasis on the duty, the rights, the virtues and merits. We are all believing men and women, and these are some of the example that when we talk about women's status in Islam. Okay, let me go to the next one. And from Islamic perspective also, Islam honors women as mothers, and this one is has been, we know this, the best the hadith that says about that the best way to reach paradise is through one's mother. So mom is always respected, obeyed and treated with kindness. So pleasing one's mother is right as pleasing Allah. So this one, sometimes when we have issues in life, we forgotten this important part. This is very basic thing. I think everyone, the younger kids, when they were in the kindergartens, we always dengar this kan, juga di bawah tapak kaki. Kita dengar Piramli punya movie, but I think somehow a lot it's not really somehow in our society we need to do more lah to really honor mothers.
Educate.
Yeah, not just Mother's Day. It has to be something we do the Islamic way. Okay. And also Islam honor women as wives. So this one is really something we need to showcase this, because we are the religion that really honor women, and how we are treated like more than just a queen. So Prophet always say that I urge you to treat women well. The best among you is the one who is best to his wife, and I'm the best of you to my wives. And so these are the things that we heard all the time. And also as a woman and daughters, and we are treated the same. Nothing to do with your gender. If you're born a son or a daughter, we are still have rights as a child to the parents. Okay. All right. It says more, but I think I'm just gonna ni bila dah kahwin lah kan, men is women are government. So it's government to men and government for you are government for them. It's just like something so pleasant when somebody get married, and this is a very positive view of marriage actually. So
Wow.
I think
Honor.
yeah. So what else? Everything apa lagi? Be kind to women kan? When he did okay. What else? Yeah, I think I just want to skip that. But the one thing, another thing is about the I like this part when another sign is you are created, okay, for your mates from among yourself that you may dwell in tranquility with them. So he has put love and mercy between you, and verily that are signs for those who reflect. Okay, kasihan mengasihani. It's not just about love; it's about how you have that.
Treat each other.
Yeah. Okay, treating each other. Be kind to each other. Okay. Next is ni dah cakap tadi. Okay, let's go to nature of men. Women. Are women too complicated to understand?
Yeah, I always have this. Like satu pandangan yang I tak tahu nak cakap sempit atau macam mana, tapi I don't agree that women are too complicated because all of us human are complicated, I
Yeah,
think.
we are also I think to say that women are too complicated, men can also be complicated. So but again it's not that difficult to understand women because because we don't have to understand all women in the world. So to start with, you just get to know women in your circle. Start with your own, women in the family, the wife, the daughters, and their mother, and then go to probably because you can put a limit to. We have female colleagues, for example. So and I see that complication when it comes to is more on relationship when we talk about complicated, betul tak? So in relationship,
Betul.
it is something very private that no matter how complicated it is, the one thing that is important is for you to be able to communicate or connected with the other person in that relationship, be it the husband, the parents, because that actually will define the complication, what kind of complication you are talking about, how complicated it is in this relationship, because I think and it sounds very 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 personal.
Broad brush?
Yeah.
Okay, personal.
So I don't think I want to say this to my
Betul.
male colleague or female colleague. You are so complicated. So is in working mode, you're staying professional. So no matter how complicated it is, it has nothing to do with gender. It has something to do with work nature. So it's going back to how good you are at work, whether you can complete the task, but it has nothing to do personal matters, or it has nothing to do. But when in relationship, the unity of a relationship is just you and the other person. It's really personal, interpersonal, intrapersonal. So something that need to be discussed or communicated in private. So the person who are affected will be those people. The between the two. I mean, when it comes to relationship is unique, and the communication between the two will. And I don't, like I said, I don't have to know how complicated is complicated.
Everyone.
Yeah, so it's very limited to your own personal relationship, and very often this relationship is not something that is it has been there for quite some time. So there are ways how to manage the relationship better, to make the relationship healthier, or to work on how relationship specific relationship with someone. Okay.
I like it when you mention work, Dr. Haniza, because I think relationship in all course is a work in progress. You have to work in order to get the relationship to be, working. So I agree with that.
So let's go this. Okay, look at this women. Okay, So you start as a girl. So I'm sure Nahid remember when you were smaller, you is what you are when you make mistake it's okay because you're just girls, so and but you
We're still naive.
yeah, and then you are taught to be this is the way the girls behave, so you have to follow this way, and I think
Mm.
the gender roles and the social expectations come from our parents and our family and our our society. And basically we are going up through the process from young to old, and along the way the transition there are things happening. The girls, probably this is the period when you're starting to get to know someone, or you start to like someone, and then become adult, and you find someone, you get married, and then you get married, you have children, and then sampai to the stage that your children want to get married, and you will have grandchildren, and women, and these are the process of gain and loss, when to the stage that you probably by the time you get elderly, you're not as in terms of health, and probably you'll be challenged a bit. Okay, this is the time that you start preparing. Your partner probably will leave you. Okay, so or any other types of crisis. We're not talking about other things. It's just this is a natural thing. So definitely these stages of issue, there'll be issues across ages, and it's unavoidable, it's inevitable for us.
Mhm.
It's very it's just we just have to uh we have to follow the flow,
Mm.
and be prepared that it's coming and it's leaving, or so that we able to protect
We will
ourselves.
always face challenges, and we
Yeah.
have a question that may be related to what you are presenting. It's from Rusha Zwani. Salam, I have a question. How we can stay positive when we are surrounded with negative colleagues at workplace?
Okay.
Workplace question. Mm.
um this is a very good question, because I think staying positive is really an effort, and I always get this question: how can you be positive when you are in a situation where this is what we call dia macam satu um because the one thing good about workplace, when it is all this what do you call this toxic environment, you can leave the
Mhm.
environment after 8 hours. Okay. So if it's workplace, you need to be able to find ways to cope with the negative situation, and you to the extent that because how to protect yourself is to see where it's coming from, what make it toxic in this
Mm.
environment.
To find
Sometimes
the root cause.
yeah, sometimes you have difficult boss, sometimes you have difficult colleague, sometimes you have
Mhm.
difficult subordinates. If you are boss, subordinate pula yang ada issue. So you have to know the negativity comes from. And it is not easy to live in negative environment and to stay positive. Um, and you will have to find ways to cope with the situation. Um, but again, if it is you have to watch yourself. If it's too much for you, if you are not able to talk to anyone in the work environment, you probably have to see someone lah, professional, to find ways how to manage these
Mm.
difficult people. Don't just stay there and try to think positive, because out there memang lah so many things. Okay, stay positive, stay positive. Sebenarnya if people who are in that situation, they know how difficult it is to stay positive. And to stay
Mm.
positive is not easy. So and easy for some people to say, because not everyone is in that negative situation. So if it is too much for you, I think I advise you to talk to someone, or better still meet a counselor, to find ways how to manage that negative situation, how to deal with the difficult people. So I won't be able to say that in much today, but I think that's one of the thing. Okay. So we talk about this stigma and gender roles, expectations, and really have to educate people about how important it is to uh, to be, this is 2023, so we don't want to live in like in the 60s or in the 50s. So and it's not just women who have hormonal changes, men also have hormonal changes. So people always say that, oh, ni mesti ada PMS lah. No, I think we should enjoy that, and we should enjoy this transition. And it's about maturity. So maybe you are not as young or as youthful as before, but you have maturity, you have more knowledge, you have more experience. So be proud of that, because in the 40s, you may not, you are not as light as before to walk here and there, but at 40s, in the 40s or in the 50s, it's really time that you realize that, oh, I've gained so much, the good things and the bad things. But at the end of the day, I'm here at this age, in the 40s. I really enjoy my, when I get 40s, because really peak of my career. In the 50s, you start to sit down and feel that, oh, I've done so much and I really love what I've done. There are things I don't like, but it's okay, but I like more of. So you have to start recalling things that really make you you who you are today. You don't get to be what you want. Maybe there are things that you're not able
all
to,
the time. Yeah.
but think of the things that you are able to do. So that will actually make you smile. So really, dia panggil apa ya? Reminiscing, technique reminiscing is.
Good old days.
So I put here one, but I think this is quite sensitive. But it is true. When you have, this is the reality of it. Okay, men to women, it can be the source of both comfort and stress. So and you have to be able to know how to actually, you have to be see the red flags and see when you need to work on, to, especially these are the people who are close to us. Okay,
Betul, Dr. Nisa.
so
I would
because
like to say something about the gender bias. We always say that only, most of the time, women will receive the bad lights on, the source of stress and the source of to the man, but we don't always see how society address that man also is the source of discomfort and stress to women as well. So, benda ni, I think we need to advocate the people, we need to educate the society that we are both to each other.
yeah,
And we should not,
it's not we want to,
berat sebelah punya.
it's not that we want to throw them away. We want them to be able to be
True.
with us when we need them most. The problem is sometimes when we need them most, they're not there. So, but
Ouch.
so the myth and the reality, we see women always fussy, always weak, always sensitive, mood swing, feelings oriented, feeling kan macam cepat koyak, possessive, dependent, incapable, easily influenced. Cengeng, yeah. So this is a negative image. The positive image of women, we also know that women can be very loving, very caring, very nurturing, very protecting. Sometimes that part yang men cannot handle also, because we are too protecting. So organized, well planned. We are into details, smart and hardworking, creative, and we passionate and all that. So sometimes the myth and the reality and the stereotyping really is in our culture. Okay, so today I really think that one thing that I want when we talk about self-care is, when we talk about mental health, it has to start with us. Okay, it begins with ourselves. So we have to take responsibility, because when you harapkan orang lain, normally what we hope for from people, sometimes people are not there for you. We have good friends, but when the time that you're in a situation that you need them urgently, they are not available. Not that they don't want to be there for you, they're just not available. So we have our counselor. You have this very wonderful counselor that you talk to, but the time that you need, immediately need a counselor, they're not available. For example, you have good siblings, you have good parents, or whatever, whoever in your family, but there'll be time that you need these people who've been very helpful to you, they're not available. So you have to rely on yourself. Okay, so when in stressful situation, you will see yourself your reaction in terms of physical, mental, emotional, and also behavioral. So let me show you this. This is how your body will react. I think I want to skip this, but you will see yourself. This is women in general will feel that you have, if you see women who are worrying about things, having hasty decision. Hold on, eh.
Let us excuse Dr. Haniza for a moment. Okay.
Okay, so these are the yeah. So basically, I think not just women who experience this reaction. So let me go next. I think I want to go to the next slide. Any more question?
Yeah. Anyone wants to ask questions? Kita buka sahaja floor. If you would like to ask question to Dr. Haniza, please do so. You can type your question in the chat box, or you can always unmute and say something. You're welcome. Okay. Please continue, Dr. Haniza.
Okay, this one, what will happen to our body? When we're having a very because it affecting our mental health state. So sometimes what happened to us when we are having crisis in life or just conflict in life, we don't get good sleep, and we are physically affected. Okay, we don't get we either eat more or don't eat at all. We have no appetite, or we don't get good rest. Okay, so these are some of the things that we can do because of I think I got the wrong slide. I want to show a different slide, please. Oh, tak apa. Maybe tak ada slide tu. But anyway, it's basically how in tak ada slide tu. Tak apalah. That's okay. But basically, I want to talk about this aspect in life because what you can do, maybe this is through coping ni. When you're physically affected, you need to have good sleep, good healthy food, and good rest. I think women, you probably need time off. You've heard of men who actually have argument and they just leave their punya partner kan. But actually, it's kind of a good thing that you take a break and go for a walk, and that will actually physically you remove yourself in the situation. At the same time, you are able to think better and come back and better perspective. So you really need to focus on these three aspects, how you can actually manage yourself better. So and all this will bring back to your feeling better. Your mental, in terms of mentally tadi kan, how can you think of when you are in a situation when everything is negative. So positive thoughts ni sebenarnya different from overthinking. If you're overthinking, you think about it, you worsen the feeling. You make that that thinking will only add on the negativity. Okay, but you have to learn to understand and to be able to understand the situation and to reframe. Dia panggil reframing of the thoughts. And the one thing about ourselves, when we are affected or in a stressful situation, we're not able to think, we're not able to make decision, our thinking process pun affected. So that's why kalau kita walking, if we do the walking, although we don't really do exercise, but the walking will actually help us in terms of
Rearrange.
to reorganize our thoughts. And
Reorganize.
so and when in this situation also, we know that whatever we act is affecting orang sekeliling kita because our feeling. We are not happy, we are angry, we are whatever, and that feelings is probably is very much our own. Okay, we recognize the feeling, but we should be aware of the effects on others,
to the surrounding.
Yeah. Okay, And actually a mental healthy person, ini jawapannya, to be able to manage stress and anxiety well before it gets out of control. It's normal to have anxiety a little bit here and there, because that kind of give fuel to your reacting better to life. Okay, kalau kita tak ada rasa takut, kita takkan ambil study untuk exam kita, for example. Okay, so it's not about throwing away or reducing at all stress anxiety, is how many, okay, before it gets out of control. Tapi katakanlah we are not able to manage it by ourselves, maybe it's timely for you to meet a professional. And you have to be able to recognize lah the red flags. Macam you don't want to see people for 2 weeks, for example. That's red flags. Kalau you don't want to see people today, I don't feel like seeing you anyone today, but tomorrow you keluar, go out and you're okay, then that's not red flags. But if it is like,
It's normal.
yeah, that's normal. So feeling depressed is normal. Okay, depression is clinical thing. So you do not diagnose yourself just because you read, I have all these symptoms. The symptom is not diagnosed by ourselves. It is diagnosed by professionals. So just because you have a little bit here and you don't feel like meeting people, you feel like you want to stay at home alone, get frustrated with work, like you ask, all the things that I do is useless. If you feel that today, tomorrow, after 3 days is gone, you're okay, you're back in yourself. So it's normal to feel frustrated, disappointed again. But the minute is not going away, after some time, then you have to check. That one, red flags lah. Red flags meaning that you are not functioning as a person. When you see that you cannot function as a person, you cannot fulfill your roles and responsibility, that time you need to talk to someone. Sometimes talking to friend helps. Pergi minum kopi dengan kawan help. So you manage okay. But after some time you talk to kawan, you have so many friends still not working, that means you need to talk to a professional that be able to help you better. Okay, so feelings they come and
So
go.
how Dr. Haniza, I have this one question. When you speak about this red flag, how do we actually recognize the red flags and what are the red flags? Kalau boleh Dr. Haniza
Okay.
share.
Okay, ni
Yeah.
banyak red flags sebenarnya. Antara red flags ni macam like you red flags ni dia more on if it is more to harming yourself and you rasa like you want to end your life ke, ataupun you rasa macam life is hopeless and helpless, nothing I do working anymore.
Works anymore.
I don't see life purpose in life, kan? So and you have that thoughts and in your mind not going away, and that
For
really,
how long?
for how long? Katalah kalau dalam seminggu tu mungkin lah you pick up balik, okay, you okay lah. But if after a few days and you don't see yourself improve, okay, you go out minum kopi Starbucks ke apa, Starbucks tak boleh minum kan, minum kopi ke, you walk with friend ke, it's not working, then talk to someone, and the first step must be you talk to a professional, jumpa counselor ke apa, ask the counselor what should I do about myself, and then counselor pun dia tak akan beritahu lah you have to do this and this and this, tapi dia akan ask you to do find what works for you, help you strategize, help you structure your life, help you see that there are alternative to things, etc. So basically it's about you don't see yourself meaningful anymore, but you can always find meanings in your life by talking to professional, because professional will help you look for life purpose. You kata, okay, so sometimes you see that all your friends are against you, but how do you actually and all the friends are against you to probably toxic people, so you probably want to have another circle of friends. So and you probably have to start new or develop another relationship with another circle of people, or develop another activities in life that is not just focusing on what's not working before. So so memang you kena talk to someone if it's too long for you. So the minute that you rasa,
If much it Someone in the Zoom wants to say something, Dr. Haniza. Can we allow Ifat Majid? Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
can I?
yeah. Sure.
Assalamu
Yeah.
alaikum. This is a very, very interesting topic and very useful. I have a student. I am a professor actually, and I'm doing PhD at Istac on Islamic issues. Anyway, that is different. Actually my topic is with gender rights. And but that is beside the point. What I would like to say is that I have a student who is who has had a very difficult childhood, and her father used to beat up her mother in front of her, and she grew up as a very troubled child, and now she is married, and she has very strong suicidal attitudes, and she tried to burn herself up once, and she was absent from the class for a while, and then she wanted to use knife to cut herself up like this. So what I did was I do a lot of meditation, and that is what I was trying to bring up here, that sometimes the meditation can be very useful. And I gave her spiritual healing. I just told her to sit quietly and meditate and say positive things about herself. Just say things that I can do it, there's nothing wrong, everything will be okay. And after one session for half an hour, there was a very positive reaction in her. I mean, she went home and she said the next time she came to the class the next week, she said that everybody's saying, how did you change? What did you do? So what I'm trying to say here is that the meditation, it can be guided meditation, but that can be, you do not need the medical things, the medicines, these can be also very, very useful. I've tried it on many of my students, female students especially, and that worked out very well with them.
Okay.
So
Dr. Haniza, any comments on this?
Yeah, I think
Guided.
I'll go straight to the coping, because there are spiritual coping also. So let me
Thank
go
you, Sister
straight to
Ifat.
that. Yeah, I think that's nice. That's nice of you as an instructor. But I think I could see there's a traumatic event in the past. That's one thing, people who have had trauma, who been traumatized before, things can trigger back the traumatic event, and especially when it comes to abuses and all this violent act in the family. So and this girl has been using the same coping to harm herself, when at that moment, the younger years, probably she couldn't find better ways to cope with it, but the religious coping, like the zikir and all that, really helped, and provided that if that particular person would like to use that particular strategies. I have also younger ladies, girls, who actually know that I should be doing all this zikir, and I should recite Quran and all that, but still, we have someone who is very a hafizah, for example, who actually do self-harm, because and talk about the feeling of guilty after harming oneself, after harming herself, because she's should be the person who know better, but like I said, this is the phases that she has to sit down and start really do more behavioral approach. In counseling, we have very behavioral approach to stop that activities. We have a safety plan. That means they have to make sure they are safe, because
It's a work.
yeah. So once you're safe, and we cannot just ask them to stop right away, because for some people, stopping right away is not, without any alternative, is not going to be easy. So there are ways, techniques. If you're in counseling, people use rubber band, people draw butterfly, for example, at their Rais, to replace, dipanggil replace, apa dipanggil, distraction, and to replace the coping. So there are ways. If people who have this issue, normally I encourage them to see and meet a counselor, especially people with traumatic event like this. Like, it looks like she hasn't been talking about it. She's been keeping that vulnerable, is not yet open. So you have to really talk about it and get that through. But it's good that you have instructor or teacher, lecturer like you, Prof, so that you are able to help her, and definitely that will help her in coping better. right? So,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about unhealthy coping. Very often, people do take something to ease the pain, and we have people, we have mental disorder who actually do self-harm and self-injury, and they have suicidal ideation and suicidal thoughts, and we're not yet talking about this hallucination because of mental disorder. But this can be a complicated thing, but not until they're diagnosed with other mental disorder, we look at it as non-suicidal self-injury. But in our society, many people want to do coping, kita panggil apa, instantaneous society. People want to get it instantly, quick fix in our culture. So very often we see that we want to solve the problem, and the only way to solve problem, people even there are people who committed suicide who think that a decision to end, but it's they then, and we try to prevent this from happening. So so and I think as a coping, for example, whether you're married or not married, with your spouse or single mom or sister, daughter, what define us is our roles and responsibilities. So we talk about so hold on, and I'd say about this positive about oneself, because it is very Islamic, because you are responsible for yourself. So we have tendency to blame others for something happened to us. We tend to blame things and people and environment, but we have to also take responsibility for ourselves. How you make yourself feel good, on look good and feel good, they are all really, you don't need the external validation, because this is what happened in today's world. You want recognition from people, and we have lots of women who actually face bully, body image, body shaming, and many other things, that actually simply because they don't feel good about themselves, and without the validation from others, we need to remove that perspective. Okay.
Especially at this time of life where everyone wants to, be seen and felt online.
Another thing is we have to actually go easy on our expectation. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Okay, be realistic, be flexible to change, don't be too rigid, and then lower and adjust if necessary. Not to be hard on ourselves, and failing is just another phase to go through. So we have to be able to learn and to tell we be able to accept ourselves, practice acceptance, and that one is also important, because if we this is not easy, but it is something that we can do to start with, and love and support, and from circle of friends. And I also remind people that, like I said, these are the good people among us, but sometimes they are not available when we need them. Doesn't mean they don't love us, it's just they are not available. So we have to be able to know that. Okay. And what actually women want actually is, if men are watching or listening to me today, is basically we just want to share. We women just want to share their thoughts, feelings, difficulties, and challenges in life. To have someone who can listen without being judgmental, to have space for themselves, to understand, accept, and to be understood and accepted as a person, so that they feel valued and appreciated, and to simply have friends. So these are the things that women normally what women want. Okay. And educate ourselves about mental health. Okay. So to prevent mental illness. So and how do not be judgmental of others. We see people, hurting themselves, harming themselves. Oh, ni tak ada agama. You don't say that, because we know that we don't go through the same thing what they're going through. We don't know what they feel, how they, how difficult their life can be. So and help them is just by offering, saying to them, okay, it must be hard for you, and you choose to hurt yourself, but I think let's go and find out and talk to someone, so that you can cope with things better. So that is much more positive than you putting them down and feel, why lah you not hurt yourself, why you want to hurt yourself, you have, and start talking about no religious understanding. And that's why people is some two different things. Okay. So we help them to get through the process, and tell them that do not isolate themselves, don't give up on them. Okay. You may have friends like this, and later you kata, lah, give up lah. I been helping her, but she's keep on doing it. So if we give up on her, who's going to be there for her? So feeling alone and loneliness is not healthy for these people. So at least you be there and check on them once in a while. May not, you have to tell them that we care about you. We would like to support you, but there will be days and times that when you call, I won't be able to pick up my phone because I might be busy with something else. So that they feel like, oh, okay, you must be busy. So sometimes they can be very dependent on you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So another thing is we discourage people to share with the social media on things. Okay. And don't share with things people we don't trust, because nanti you will regret if you tell with the world and the world will share things with the other world. Okay.
It will backfire, yeah.
So focus on now, because there are things in the past you cannot change. We have issues that dealing with the past, and also we have people who are anxious and not sure how to move to the future. So we really have to focus on here and now, what we can do about it today and how we can make a difference today. Okay. We need to strengthen
Yeah.
to strengthen. So and this is self-care. Self-care is easy actually. Kadang-kadang it doesn't cost you a thing. So it's still a choice. It's a must. Sometimes you just sit and watch sunset. It's self-care. Sometimes you just walk alone and do nothing. It's self-care. So it doesn't have to be go to buy expensive coffee, but no. Sometimes you just clean. Ada orang dia self-care, they clean the toilet. So why not? Because after that you feel good. Your toilet's clean. Right? So
The
best.
feel good hormone, yeah.
Yeah, so you refuel, you re-energize, you replenish, and I also encourage people to, choose the best shower cream or yang smells good, that make you feel good when
The
you.
therapeutic gitu.
Yeah. Okay, so that's part of self-care. Lots of self-care you can Google. I think I'm all at the end of my slides already, so I'm rushed.
You go very fast at the end now, yeah.
But I think I get the gist lah. So I
But yeah,
think we can have forum on this, because really it's really fun to talk about women and mental health, and this is something that I think is a good discussion to share and educate ourselves. We can be better women actually every day by like I said, life. I think I always say that life is never perfect. But it can always be better. So we do self-care just to get through day by day, seize the day. So that's all from me, Nahid. If there's any question, I will answer it.
Thank you, Dr. Haniza. I think there is an entailed question from Shazwani. Lepas soalan tadi, she continues asking, if a colleague doesn't like me by not talking to me, can I do the same thing by not liking that person? Macam mana kita nak respond kepada all this negativity?
Okay. You have to know, I don't know, the question is, I don't know the whole context, okay? I don't want to make assumption, because we talk about colleague at work. We have all kinds of colleagues. There are colleagues who, and I don't know the motive why she doesn't like you, or, and it sounds like a revenge. You don't like me, I don't like you. But if you're okay with it, why not? It's your choice. But again, you make that decision. Apa ni? If I decided not to, I would say at workplace, there will be lots of other issues, office politics, professional jealousy, and you must act like a professional, because the minute that you know your boundary, you don't get into someone else's, don't get into trouble. If not being, you don't have to be like good bud, macam mana cakap, best friend to
Goody two shoes.
because
Baik-baik je.
just for you to tak nak lah juga nanti lepas ni tak ada orang nak kawan dengan kau kat tempat kerja kan. But I think sometimes you're lucky you have good colleagues, but there are times that your colleagues are not, you stuck. Sometimes when you have colleagues at work, it's not, you don't choose your colleagues sebenarnya. But if your colleagues can get along with you, that would be a plus. If your colleague have similar interest with you, it's good. But sometimes there are colleagues who are not, have similar common interests. So, but you are there to work. as long as your work can not not affected by the existence of your another colleague, I think you keep it professional. So you ask me to do things, I do things, if that's the boss. So but also, that's another, you have to take care of so that you need, I know it is important to be happy at work, because you spend most of your life at work. Okay. And sometimes it can be, like I said, sometimes you have no choice but to work, because you have to earn money. So but I think you don't have to be macam mana, good friend to all your colleagues. You can have one or
Draw boundaries lah kan.
yeah, you have to set the boundaries, because at the end of the day, with friends, colleague, they are all professional relationship. So when you get too personal, it's gonna endanger that professionalism. I tell you this because I know. Because one day this person may be jadi you punya boss, or dia jadi boss you. So you have to keep it professional. If it's too personal, it's not gonna be healthy either. So you can have fun together, do whatever, but you have to keep it professional and stay within your boundary. Okay.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Haniza. Do you want to take another last question ataupun kita nak tutup?
Boleh je. I have no problem.
Okay, maybe last one lah, sebab kita pun start lagi buat sikit tadi. Kita buka satu soalan lagi. If the audience in the Zoom as well as from the YouTube live, any questions from the live now?
If Majid has something to say.
Okay. Ada lah tadi the one, this is the one yang came up sebelum.
Okay.
Anyone else want to ask Dr. Haniza a question? So we learned a lot today with Dr. Haniza, how different men and women from each other and how we can actually work together sebenarnya, kan, to be well mentally. Kalau tak ada question, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, very informative. Thanks for a very useful session. Right, I think we do not have any more questions, Dr. Haniza.
Okay.
So perhaps we can, yeah. Thank you very much for being with us today. Inshallah, maybe we can meet at the other program or at another time. So I thank you, Dr. Haniza, for the interesting presentation and all the sharing that we learned from you today. And also for all of you, the audience, I would like to extend my thanks and gratitude for staying around until the very end and being such an active audience, asking questions and sharing your personal experiences. I also apologize for any shortcomings, and we have now come to an end. Let's close this session by reciting Tasbih of